I'm Lynn Gable. I was appointed to the Heritage Bay Master Board as a Veranda Representative 2024, and I'm honored to continue in this position for the next 2 years as I am running unopposed. My husband and I moved to Heritage Bay in 2012 and were captivated by the community's beauty and welcoming atmosphere. Over the past 13 years, my involvement has grown from simply enjoying the amenities to actively contributing to shaping its future. I am currently Vice President of the Veranda 8 Board, where I have served since 2015. I have cultivated expertise in efficient resource allocation and streamlined operational procedures, consistently prioritizing resident satisfaction. This includes working closely with Buttonwood Landscaping to enhance and maintain the beauty of our grounds. I served 3 years on the LGA 18-hole board as tournament chairperson, where my committee and I successfully navigated the logistic challenges of COVID and ensured the continued success of large-scale tournaments and luncheons. My dedication to fostering a vibrant community led me to serve on the Social and Activity Advisory Committee, now called the Member Experience Advisory Committee, from 2015 to 2019, and again in 2023. I am now the Master Board Liaison to this committee, which keeps me closely attuned to the evolving needs and practices of our residents. My education background, having a bachelor and master's degree from Western Michigan University, teaching at both the elementary and university level, has provided me with strong communication and problem-solving skills. These skills are integral to my commitment to effectively representing your interests and contribute to the continued success of our community. I will work diligently preserving and enhancing the unique qualities that make Heritage Bay the best place to live. Thank you.
My name is Gary Grant. I'm seeking re-election to the Heritage Bay Board of Directors because I believe that if you belong to an organization or a community, you should volunteer your time to try and make it better if you have the skills and knowledge to do so. I think I do. So what do I bring to the table? I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh in 1969 with a BS in chemical engineering, went directly to work for DuPont, worked for DuPont for almost 47 years. I started to work as an engineer, eventually moved into manufacturing supervision at plants in Parlin, New Jersey, Niagara Falls, New York, and Wilmington, Delaware. In Wilmington, Delaware, I ran a small magnetic tape plant using chromium dioxide as the magnetic particle, which is a patented product of DuPont's. After that, I became the global sales and marketing manager for chromium dioxide, traveled all over the world supporting and promoting the product. While I was in that job, NV Phillips came to DuPont, asked them to form a joint venture using their existing magnetic tape manufacturing facility in Holland. So NV Phillips gave the plant and 400 Dutch employees. DuPont sent over 5 of their so-called experts. I was one of them. I became the manufacturing and engineering manager for the joint venture. Lived in Holland for 4 years, actually learned how to speak Dutch, which wasn't easy. When I came back to the United States, I went back to Wilmington, Delaware, became the sourcing and engineering manager for the electronics department. Electronics department wanted to consolidate their senior management in Raleigh, North Carolina. I didn't want to go. So I became the corporate responsible for DuPont Corporate Asset Management. It's sort of like the junk man of DuPont. I sold all of DuPont non-real estate excess assets worldwide, anything from total manufacturing lines to excess furniture from the Hotel DuPont. I met some really unique people in that job. After that, I became the head of DuPont Corporate Real Estate, sold and bought all DuPont real estate assets worldwide. I decided I wanted to retire from DuPont. At that time, an investment company came along and decided they wanted to buy the DuPont automotive paint business. They had money but no plants and no people, so they needed DuPont to supply people for the new company. They made me an offer I couldn't refuse. They wanted me to become a director of IT in the company and move the IT environment out of DuPont and into the new company. So why they wanted the chemical engineer to do that, I don't know, but it was very successful. So I worked for that company for about a year, and then so I retired from DuPont and went to work for the new company for about a year and then retired from that. While I was in Delaware, I developed a love of golf. I was the chairman of the board of governors for a private golf club in Pennsylvania for about 3 years. I was also vice president and handicap chairman for the Philadelphia Senior Golf Association. Well, my wife and I decided to rent houses in Florida to see what it's like to live down here. In 2017, we started to rent houses in Heritage Bay, fell in love with the place, loved the people. 2019, we bought a house here in Lions Bay and have been permanent residents ever since. When we bought the house, the hot wire guy came to me and asked me if I wanted to name my home internet, and I said yes, I'd like to give it the name Grant's Tomb. And he thought that was kind of unusual, but he did it anyways. Since being at Heritage Bay, I've held several different positions here. I've been on the board of directors for almost 4 years. I was vice president and treasurer, and currently the president of the Men's Golf Association. I was vice president and currently the secretary and treasurer for the single family home and HOA. And as I said, I've been on the board of directors for almost 4 years now. So I think my experiences and knowledge will enable me to be a successful director. I ask for your vote, and I promise that I'll do my best to make sure that my primary concern will be the safety and long-term viability of Heritage Bay. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Carl Heck. I am a retired military officer. I spent 6 years as a tank troop commander in the Armored Corps. Then I transferred over to the military police, and I served with them for more than 30 years. I am a life member of the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police. Penny and I are original residents. We have lived on Smokehouse since 2009. Since that time, I've been actively involved in the progression of Heritage Bay as a community. I spent 6 years on committees. In 2018, we had a second crack at approving the enhancement project, which was a much needed rental for the clubhouse and the tiki bar, now known as the Cabana. The first crack we'd had at it was rejected 2 years earlier by the members, and I said, we cannot afford to not approve this a second time around, because if we don't do it, then Heritage Bay is going to be in trouble as far as being a desirable place to live. So I managed to get myself on the board of directors. I actively campaigned for the enhancement project, and it passed with an 80% vote. We got everything built. There was a 4-month delay before the facilities opened. Naturally, people complained about that, but in retrospect, we were very fortunate because the pandemic had started, but the impact hadn't. That came about 2 months after we got things built. That's when you couldn't get any workers or materials. Costs went through the roof. So we snuck in under the wire. I carried on the board for 4 more years. It was a grind. There were a long time there. We were meeting every week, lots of Zoom calls, lots of very unhappy people, hate mail, that sort of thing. But we persevered, we got through it, and here we are. There's only one reason why you should join the board of directors, and that is that you have the chance to participate in decisions that will ensure that Heritage Bay remains the best valued gated bundle community in Southwest Florida. I think we are there now. We need to stay there. Why would I want to do this again? Well, there's 2 reasons. First of all, people seem happier. At the bocce leagues, I met some newcomers from the Northeast. They love it here. They like the resort-type atmosphere, the facilities, the people. That's terrific. But we have some big projects coming down the road that we need to keep a close eye on. First and foremost, Heritage Bay is a golf community. We have 27 holes of golf in a county where you can't build golf courses anymore. So that is our real strength. What that means is that things related to the golf course have priority, and we have a big one coming down the pipe, and that is the golf course rental. We need to keep a close eye on that because it can get very expensive if we're not careful. So we need to drill deep down into how that's going to work. But we're very fortunate because Kevin and his team have done a great job with our golf course over these many years and will likely continue to do so. So we're in pretty good shape, but we'll have to sort of be very careful on how we work this rental. The second thing is that because that's a big priority project, it's going to move a lot of the other projects to the back burner for the next 5 years. But there are probably a couple out there that deserve our attention. We need to find those projects. We need to sell them to the members. What we don't want to do is spend a lot of time, effort, and money creating great presentations for projects that really have no chance of passing a member's vote. I think I have certainly the drive and I have the experience to look out for your best interests over the next 5 years as we head down the road. I also have an added advantage that I've got to come and know and work with many of the senior staff that are still here at Heritage Bay. The last question was, what is the best part of Heritage Bay? And the answer is easy, it's people. Now, although we hate to admit it, most of us are in the last stage of our life. Now, while that sounds very dramatic, that stage could last 40 years. It's called retirement. You don't need to have the biggest house or the most money or the fastest car, although those are all nice. What you need are people to share this experience with. We've been very fortunate here to meet some outstanding people who will be friends for the rest of our life, both here and up north. It is very rare to find a community where you can find that, but we have it here in Heritage Bay. We are a diamond in the rough. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Good morning. My name is Mike Hugh. I'm one of two candidates representing the Coach homes in this year's election. If you have taken the time to read my biography and now are watching this video, thank you. My wife Teresa and I moved to Heritage Bay in July 2011. We love this community and the many friends we have made. We currently split time between Naples, Florida and Lakeville, Minnesota, with our annual time at Heritage Bay ever increasing. Heritage Bay has many exciting projects coming up over the next few years. It is important to remain transparent through these projects. I want to be an instrumental part of these projects representing the members while maintaining fiscal responsibility. Difficult decisions will occur, but I will be committed to you, the member. I will ensure the priorities from last year's survey are our working document for the next few years. I currently serve as treasurer and secretary of Coach Homes One Homeowners Association. I am the newly elected chairman of the Greens Advisory Committee. I've served on the Golf Advisory Handicap Committee in the past. My past work experience is that I've owned two different outdoor services companies. After successful sale of those two companies, I worked 29 years as a senior banking executive, focusing on mortgage banking, the customer experience, and compliance. I served 2 terms on the board of directors at our private club in Minnesota. My favorite things about Heritage Bay: the people, our friends, great facilities, beautiful golf course, many committed homeowners who volunteer to serve on various committees or boards. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about me. I will be honored to serve you and receive your vote.
Hi, I'm Dan Puskas. My wife Lori and I are celebrating our 10th year here at Heritage Bay. Hard for me to imagine that. We love this community. We love being here. The reason I'm running for the board is I think I bring a unique set of background experiences. I always say it's not better or worse, but definitely different. For the last 22 plus years, I've been a corporate restructuring specialist. So basically, I work with private equity firms and investors, companies, and mostly a lot of board of directors, looking at spin-outs. And again, I'm a finance technology, that's my specialty. Been in a lot of cases you've probably heard of in the news. I mean, I was at WorldCom after the collapse of Enron. Spent 4 years in California during the subprime mortgage meltdown. I was at Puerto Rico during the power crisis. In fact, my last one, most people realize the most, is I was the last standing executive at Bed Bath Beyond, which was just last year. So outside of work, I was also on the board of directors at a country club up in Michigan. I was there for 6 years. I was, not shockingly, 4 years as a treasurer. And they actually brought me in there because I was back during the auto problems, and I ended up doing a debt restructuring of our club. Don't need that kind of things here, thankfully. Also here at Heritage Bay, I've been on the finance committee, as well as I'm currently on the access and safety committee. A couple of things that are important to me going in, if I was able to take on this role. One is transparency. I'm used to dealing with companies. We're not companies. We're not shareholders. We're all members. We're all owners, friends. And I think we always should be erring on the side of giving too much information. I know when I'll often look at an agenda item on the board of directors meeting, and it's like forwards long, and then they're approving. I really don't know what it is. So it'd be nice to see things like pre-packs for the meetings. A lot of times, like you see in city councils, as well as maybe the recordings of the meetings. I know a lot of people, like myself, I'm semi-retired. I still take on projects. Now I get to pick and choose, which is nice. I think the other area that's important to me, I think important to everybody, we all care about the value, the overall value. I do valuation work, so I know a lot about the valuation topic. And I did my research on Heritage Bay before I came here. And fortunately, we had good financials, and 10 years later, I'm still here. But things affect, a lot of things affect the value. And if I look back on my 10 years, one thing that's striking to me is we really only had one project that was successfully voted on or approved by the members. And that, of course, was the grill room and the cabana and the pool. They did a fabulous job. In fact, the rest of our peers have been chasing us ever since, which is great. But I think there is an opportunity there to, again, we don't need restructuring, but I think we can do that better. I think the people here are willing to invest in the community they live in, and I think the better processes around projects, like the last and even the current pickleball proposals. And I'm not a racket guy, so I don't really play either. One thing I learned in doing deals, and I do deals for a living, is that when both parties walk away from a deal feeling okay, satisfied, but not thrilled, that's usually a good deal. When one party walks away thrilled and the other is dejected, those are bad deals. And those are the ones that probably don't get approved in a vote. So I think we could do a better job, and that comes with better surveys, more information. I started a survey up at our country club up north, did it for 4 years with no agenda. It was just it was free, actually, SurveyMonkey. And we were able to track, data, track people's, what they wanted, what they liked, what they're willing to do. So again, I think there's areas where we can get better, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I welcome your support. Again, I've been here 10. When I bought it, I thought it was the best bundle club in Southwest Florida. 10 years later, I still think it is, and I like to be part of making 10 years from now that it still is. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Kim Stum, and I'm running for the at-large position. Heritage Bay has been my home for the past 5 years. I currently live in a coach home on Smokehouse Bay. My husband and I relocated here from Michigan 5 years ago when I retired from the Kellogg Company with over 24 years of service. I have extensive finance and leadership skills. And in my last role at Kellogg's, I was a vice president of finance, managing a staff of over 50 people. At Heritage Bay, I've been on the master board for the past 2 years, and I am currently the treasurer. Previous to that, I was on the finance committee for 2 years, and I am currently also the Coach Home 2 vice president. Heritage Bay is a fantastic place to live. The facilities and amenities are top-notch. We have a very strong management team and an excellent staff. Why do I want to run for the board again? I think it's very important for people to really get involved in the community in which they live in. I am very passionate about the long-term success of Heritage Bay. And as your board member, I will continue to facilitate the club's ability to efficiently and effectively manage in a changing environment. So I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.